to go ahead and get started. Commissioner Yower?
Here.
Commissioner Rosales?
Here.
Judge Shaw's here. Commissioner Movement? Here. Tracy's not here, and Lisa's here at the county clerk's office. Please stand and join us in prayer and stay safe.
Dear Lord, please take care of our military forces wherever they may be. Please bring them home safely to their families. Please help us make the right decisions for the county, the best decisions for the county. Please take care of all the children in the world and their families. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did you sign up to speak, or just come up here? Did you sign up to speak?
I did not.
Okay. Then, before we do minutes, let's go ahead and move to Lorraine's items. That's to approve Chapman, number 8, to approve Chapman Engineering's proposal for additional sampling in the vicinity of the building of a Karnes County jail site for a not to exceed amount of $3,500.
At last Commissioner's Court, you approved to go ahead and remove the soil that needed to be remediated horizontally out from the sump that was taken out of the ground at that building A, which is still in the middle of our jail site. And so this is the fees that are associated with the engineer getting those samples tested when that soil comes out, and then signing off and making sure that we're clear at the end once those soils are remediated. So it's $3,500. It's the same engineering firm that we've been using for all of this remediation. And hopefully once they, that soil's removed and they finish this round of testing, that building A area will be finished. Is what we're very hopeful.
What's the distance of the span y'all be sampling?
They're taking out a 10-foot section around where the sump was removed, because that's based on the previous samples. That's what they're estimating needs to be remediated, and then they'll test those soils in that area after those are removed. So it's just right around that sump, and this was their best estimate to remediate only those soils that they felt were necessary. But until they do this last testing, once they're remediated, we won't know for sure.
I'll make a motion to approve Chapman Engineering proposal. This is number 8 as stated.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries 4-0. All right, did you just want me to sign this one that you handed me?
I have originals for you to sign. Just keep folder all the items.
We'll get them afterwards then. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we're going to go to number 13, which is to approve owner, contractor, construction contract with Karnes County Courthouse Phase 1A, dependent upon Mr. Hancock's approval.
So, the last Commissioner's Court, the notice to proceed was authorized by Commissioner's Court to move forward with the foundation repair project at the courthouse, Phase 1A. And during this interim, Mr. Boyle has been going back and forth with Mr. Hancock and the architect Graham Loon and myself on getting his contract prepared and ready for signature. It is based upon the previous contract that Boyle completed under Phase 1, and your contingency has been adjusted to accommodate the $12,000 testing allowance that you're going to be actually contracting directly with the testing lab for. And then the attached exhibits are the documents that were bidding documents of the plans and specifications, along with the clarifications and unit prices for Mr. Boyle. And then Mr. Hancock had asked Mr. Boyle to include an additional Exhibit E, which has to do with anticipated weather days and defining those now instead of as the project's going along. So I believe that Mr. Hancock is in agreement with...
That is correct.
So you've examined all this, asked all the questions you need to ask.
Yes, I checked the insurance, our insurance, his insurance and are satisfied.
Lorraine, I have a question, or maybe Judge, you can answer. With what transpired in Austin with the historical commission about them cutting the budget like they did for the deal? And I'm sure this doesn't come into play, but this should not be affected by that cut, should it?
No, so these are funds that were left over from this funding year. Any other courthouses that didn't use all their money, that's what they used
That's what I thought.
for the emergency. So you have your $523,000.
I move that we approve number 13 as stated.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. The next item on the agenda, number 14, is to approve the testing proposal from TSI Laboratories for Karnes County Courthouse Phase 1A, not to exceed the allowance of $12,000, and that's signed again.
And Mr. Graham Bloom has received a testing proposal from TSI Laboratories. Mr. Quintanilla is here representing TSI Laboratories to do your testing for the courthouse and for this Phase 1A portion of the project. And they will be contracting directly with the owner because this is quality assurance and quality control, and that's the best way to handle quality assurance testing is that he's working directly for you, reporting to you, and your architect, and of course myself as the owner's representative will be reviewing those reports. And I had asked Mr. Quintanilla if he felt comfortable with that $12,000 allowance, and that he issued a supplemental letter stating that, pending, of course, unforeseen conditions or schedule delays, etc., that he felt like $12,000 would be adequate to cover the testing that was necessary for this project. So we would like to get him on board representing the owner for quality assurance testing, construction and materials testing for the Phase 1A foundation repair project.
Gary, this includes testing of the, okay, you said the
It should include
monitoring
testing.
of drill piers.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. You're going to monitor how they drill them?
Yes, we provide a log of the depths and the sizes of the piers, the steel that was placed, the cleanliness of the holes, the concrete testing, just everything that is required, standard drill pier inspection.
This includes the floor of the basement floor, the equipment room, and the walls that are built in the basement?
Yes,
and the
yes,
floor,
sir.
and the floor of the first floor?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve test probe TSI Laboratories for Karnes County Courthouse Phase 1A for not to exceed allowance of $12,000.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. Number 15 is a pre-designed presentation for road and bridge EMS projects by Lonnie.
Okay, I have a book that we prepared for you, and it has the entire PowerPoint in it along with the supporting documentation on the pre-design investigation and work that we've done related to your EMS and your road and bridge project. So the plan was to just quickly go through to just plant the seeds of the information that we've gathered and let you know the progress that we've made. And then we wanted to go back and meet with the actual committee members and spend more time on each of these items and be able to come back to Commissioner's Court with a recommendation after meeting with the committee members and the staff. So I'm going to go kind of quickly through the PowerPoint, and because you have a full copy of all of the information right here in your binder, and then we'll follow up next week with, or either later this week or next week with supplemental meeting with the building, with the committee members that were assigned from Commissioner's Court and the staff members of each of these departments or facilities in order to get into more detail and come back with a more detailed presentation for the court. So essentially, Daily Spirit Architects, we started by gathering and developing comparison charts for your road and bridge and your EMS facilities. And what we did is we went to other counties that had similar populations or roads miles of roads, etc., to see what works and what doesn't work in their facilities. Several of them have just built new facilities, so it was very informative. And there's in your book under EMS charts and road and bridge charts are the findings and comparisons that we came up with for you. We then visited several EMS facilities and road and bridge facilities. We selected ones again that were similar in or close as we could get to Karnes, especially ones that had experienced really strong growth spurts, which is what Karnes is experiencing, to see how they handle things. And we've compiled not only information for you on the physical plant, what they need for buildings and space, etc., but also, how did they handle funding, how did they handle some of the growth, what we have org charts and different information on spaces and staffing, etc., that hopefully will be helpful as you evaluate your growth in these two areas. And all of that information is compiled in these pre-designed binders that we prepared for you. So starting with your EMS facility, of course, everybody's seen it, so I don't really have to go into a lot of detail, but it floods when it rains. It's a very, very old building. It doesn't meet code, and it really does not have the adequate spaces for you to perform function and especially not to grow into what is going to be necessary. What we did is we prepared pages of key design elements for different areas. So on the site, the items that when you interview other facilities and talk about what is key and critical, what would they definitely never compromise on, what could they do better. Pull-through bays, everybody was very, very strongly in favor of. They're also combining fire and EMS. Everybody that we've talked to is looking forward to that. So even if you don't have the plan to combine fire and EMS now, being able to design for that functionality in the future would be something that would be important to keep in mind when you do this building. So you have that ability, because half of your building is used the same by fire and EMS, and you can save a lot of money if you're able to use the same building for both. Living and dining area, having a nice open area, which promotes staff interaction and gives you the function and the spaces that you need to live when you're on call or on duty. Kitchen pantry, just making sure that your refrigerators and your pantries have areas for your ABC shifts, and of course have plenty of space to be able to, again, gathering together and eating together creates that cohesiveness and camaraderie that helps you work better out in the field. Sleeping areas, everybody that we talk to is going to individual sleeping rooms versus the dorms. It helps accommodate males and females. Something else they're doing, because of workers' comp claim, they're just doing lower bunks, because getting off the top bunks when you wake up in the middle of the night and coming down, having the sleeping areas on the first floor and having only lower bunks will help alleviate potential workers' comp claims, because those claims can cost a lot more than what money you might save by consolidating that space. Some of the facilities have separate clean and dirty laundry areas. Dirty laundry areas right off the bays. If you're very, very soiled and you may have a lot of body fluids on you, you can immediately take a shower and wash those clothes separate from your clean laundry area. Exercise, very important, especially with the new health care requirements. You can get discounts with health insurance if you have health, wellness, and fitness plans, and of course you have to be fit to perform those duties. So having an exercise area is something that was very highly used by all of the staff. And then again, outdoor area for them to be able to eat and have recreation together. Report writing, of course, is necessary. The live-tenant space has its own separate bedroom and usually is right off the front area with a window to the outside so they can see what's happening out and around the building. Conference and meeting rooms to be able to not only have staff conferences, but sometimes the public will come in and reserve different rooms if you have those available to them. Treatment and triage room right off of the front. The facilities that have them love them. The ones that didn't say they sure wish they did, because you have walk-ins and what do you do with them? So having just a small treatment room right off the front. Some facilities also offer, they have nurses and doctors that come and volunteer, and they use this room for those exams. Medical supplies, the location, and of course the security of medical supplies is very important. And then the bays, having the drive-through bays deep enough for the 2 ambulances, and then having the appropriate storage and configuration in the bays. Finishes, people that had the stained concrete loved it. It was very easy to maintain, and it's a very economical finish. Bulverde Spring Branch EMS was an excellent example of rapid growth, and so I just put a few things on here on how they funded and how they dealt with their growth. It was impressive because in 2006 they only had 4 full-time employees, and now in 2013 they've grown to 31 full-time, 15 part-time, and 30 volunteers. They said they'd be happy to talk to anybody about how they handled it and different ideas. For funding, what they did is they have their ad valorem tax, their fire department contributes since they did a combined facility, but they created these emergency service districts, and they're saying that's what really enabled them to be able to fund this rapid growth in some of the buildings. I mentioned this last time, but also they have a separate, they have a fundraising person that more than pays for itself. They hired a full-time fundraising person that helps with membership drive grants, United Way, and then donations, and they get in $400,000 a year from that position. So it more than pays for itself having somebody that's just focusing on fundraising. And then with the oil and gas going on here, it seems like if somebody was focused on getting donations, that would be a reality for you. They want you to be able to respond if they have an emergency out where they're working. Donating to help support that would be reasonable.
How big is Bulverde?
Bulverde Spring Branch is, in the chart I have, the population for Comal County is 131,000, and there's, in my meeting notes, and I don't remember off the top of my head, I have divided up what the different cities are that make that up. But it's just growing tremendously. Okay, so for road and bridge, again, your existing conditions, you're of course sharing with EMS. You're on less than 2 acres, and you're tight. You need more space. The site is not large enough, and you really don't have a functional building that has enough offices and your meeting areas, your storage, your shop areas, fueling station. With the fueling station, if it's done right with card access, you can have all your county sheriff's department, and you could even combine, city if it worked that way, but you could have one central fueling station for your city and your county vehicles, which would save a tremendous amount of money in fuel. You put a card access system on, you key it with vehicle numbers and the card access with the employee, and it can be a big savings. Wash down area is needed, as well as insulating the building. Even if you don't condition it, when you insulated it, it really brings down the heat load and the heat gain that we have in the summertime. Site, again, drive-through bays for safety. Everybody was very adamant that the backing in and the backing out is not the ideal way to go unless you don't have any other choice. 10 acres is ideal, is what we found. Anybody that's on less than 10 acres is looking for more property to expand. Then, of course, having fenced, secured areas, and then ideally being more in the central part of the county. The bays in the shop, over and over again, everybody said plan for growth. To add 2 more bays now is a minimal cost versus having to add on later. So again, a lot of people were saying they wish they had gone ahead and at least built 1 more bay for future growth or 2 more bays, so they weren't having to add on just a few years down the road. Of course, designing the building to carry future loads of any equipment that you can't afford now, but you want to plan for, lifts and cranes and such. And then having your bathrooms and your restrooms off of the bays so that they're accessible to the mechanics that are working in them. And having a wash bay and tire storage, exhaust for when the doors are closed when you are working in the wintertime. Parts, designing the mezzanine area above the offices for 150 pounds per square foot will allow you to use that unusable space. You can't use it for any kind of public offices, etc., but you can use it for storage. So designing that, fire rating it, and properly designing it to be able to use for storage. that can gain a lot of storage space, and having delivery doors and having the parts accessible to the shop as well as for deliveries. Sign shop, there's all different configurations of how signs are handled. Some counties still just order in pre-made signs. Some counties have gone to just making all their signs, which saves a lot of money in the cost. But it's an investment, of course, in equipment and space. Fueling station, we've talked about that already a little bit. Technology, getting into the GIS system. Cartograph and CityWorks are the two systems that a lot of the facilities or the road and bridge are using, and they love it. It takes time and it takes money to get transferred over to it, but it's a tremendous savings in time and money in resources once you get it implemented. And then, of course, using iPhones to be able to take pictures when you're out in the field and you have a question to send back to your main department. Permitting, paperless, and being able to do more online is the growing trend. Material yard storage, of course, that requires a lot of space as well as all of the equipment. Using the concrete retaining walls, while none of the facilities we visited had them, they all said that they wish they had them because it reduces the amount of waste. It lets you not have the materials mix up, and then it lets you use less space because the materials are contained. So they all said they wish they would have, but they didn't have them. In planning, again, they can't emphasize enough how important it is to make sure you're building for future growth. At least plan for it if you can't afford to add on that extra bay. Hayes County, right after, if they had to start using portable storage buildings almost as soon as they finished their facility, because if they had had more bays, they could have, they wouldn't have had to do that. And think about your signage and how you want that to grow. And then as their staff grows, their rooms for having their meetings, conference room, etc., staff meetings and foreman meetings were not large enough. And then, of course, make sure we consider space for all of the different exterior storage that is necessary. And then going into support and administration, think about the staffing that you have now as well as your next 10 to 15 years, because ideally what you want to do is build a building that's going to be able to grow with you instead of build just the bare minimum and not plan for future growth so that you're having to start over again. So whatever you invest in these buildings can be a lifetime investment that you just add on and build from. And that's it. So the book, the binder that we made for you is divided up. The EMS information is in the front, and then the road and bridges is more to the back. Like I said, we have the charts that have comparisons for you, and then at the very end, we just Googled some other sites for road and bridge to help you in looking at really just telling you how many acres, and you can look and see what's on those areas, because I know land is tough right now for you guys in this area. So our next step is to meet with the staff and the committee members later this week and next week, and be able to come back with more recommendations to the court. Any questions?
Right here, it says Valverde Spring Branch EMS Central Station, and then right here it has a North Station.
Yes. They were fortunate. They had someone donate $4 million to build that central station, but they were growing so fast that right away they realized they needed a North Station. So they built the North Station, which is the smaller station. The central station is way big for what y'all would do. You would probably do what would be the North Station, which is about 6,000 square feet.
It's not even 1 acre, I believe.
It's on about 2 acres, I think.
The central station is on 2.73 acres.
And then let's see, north is 0.95. Yes, sir, you're right, 1 acre.
So we would need something like that?
Yes, we would be looking at something like your North Station. And that would let you be able to grow. It would let you be able to accommodate bringing fire in if you ever have that need. It really would give you a base building that would be able to be used. It would be an investment, a 30, 50-year investment to be able to grow with it. You shouldn't need anything larger than that. And then if the county grows and you need other stations, then you could build, other stations more remote in the county.
all your proposals as far as EMS are taking into account that the county will provide fully staffed facilities 24/7.
Yes, we have money for fully staffed facilities, yes.
And the one I did get a letter from Dr. Sabani, who wants to go to
What?
wants to go to a paid service. But I've been gone, so I'm not going to just like,
We need to talk about that.
I just.
But one thing is for, I know what you're saying about the growth, but I've always kind of foreseen that maybe the county at one time could partner with the city to have a station, another station in the county, where one would take care of the north side of the county, the other would take care of everything south and toward Rungy, however you want to do it, but use a dividing line, which we can probably offset the cost of a lot of the building.
Yes.
But that'll be discussion for the future, but just let you know what I was thinking.
You said that the county road and bridge would need a minimum, how many acres?
Okay, ideally, you would want 10 acres. That's just based on everybody talking. You can make, if you have other yard storage throughout the county, you can make 5 work, but the problem is anyone we've talked to that has less than 10, people with 5 acres, they're either looking for more land or they're squished. They don't have the room to grow. So our recommendation would be to go with 10 acres, unless you absolutely can't, and then you have to look at other yard storage. Of course, the big space that's required is all of your equipment. The vehicles take a lot of space. Almost all the pictures we have don't show all the vehicles, but every site, when all the vehicles are in at night, they're full. The sites are full.
Here on Comal County,
Mm-hmm.
the 7.27 acres, is that just what's seen here on parking area?
The 7.27 acres is the, no, that's like, it's like an L shape right here.
That's the 7.2?
And- Yes, and what they're trying to accommodate more land in order to.
Behind them?
Yes, in order to continue to grow, because they are, because see, you can see in that particular,
I'm sorry.
yeah, in that particular plan that you look at, they don't have a whole lot of yard storage, so they have to
Yeah.
have more yard storage, and I believe they're the ones that said they have a lot of their materials delivered directly to the job location
Yeah, they don't have any roads.
versus, yeah.
All right, do you have a book, extra book, one for the road person and one for the EMS administrator?
Yes, well, our plan was to go ahead and we'll make those and I'll, and bring those down when we have our meeting and go through everything. So I was gonna contact the committee members and the staff and see when everyone's available to go later this week or next week to meet and have a sit down and go in much more detail, talk about all of these different
Probably better
items.
next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah, because we're all leaving line. Everybody but James. We're leaving James, yes. Everybody else is going to focus for the judges.
Right.
Any other questions for Lorraine before we move on?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll go back to number 6, which is reading of the minutes. Barb, on that cop seat deal, I know we approved it, but we had you had called me, and I don't remember what it was. You had told me to do something on that cop seat deal. Do you remember what that was?
Which one is that?
That cop seat?
I believe it had to do with abolishing the prepayment penalty.
Yes.
Finance agreement.
Now, I think they dropped it back to half what we were trying to negotiate. And I wanted to give the commissioners the option of paying it off the first year without a interest penalty. And I don't know whether or not we didn't get there before, but I was on Friday, but we didn't get to that spot. I don't think we can back up now since it's been signed and sent off. But that was, my original objective was to get the Commissioner Court in a position to pay it off without an interest penalty, and we did not accomplish that, I don't think.
No. Next time, I think we'll wait till you're here to
Thank you.
execute another
Okay.
one, because that's just not, I don't want to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
On these minutes, when somebody speaks on the agenda, you know, as citizens be heard, should we have a copy of their statements transcribed or something that if they submit a written statement to the court, should we have it attached to these minutes? I'm just asking.
I don't think anybody ever has. I mean, they all prepare it, come in here and read it, whatever.
They have some,
Sometimes they're flat on, yep.
yeah, there's those that have a written statement, or, I'm just asking. I know somebody think it's funny, I'm asking.
Shelby, I've been told that we can write Commissioners Court requirements. We can write our own requirements. If we want something like that, we can write something that we don't have in.
Technically, it's supposed to be, when you present something, it's supposed to be under oath, and it's supposed to be written testimony, and even says that on that form. That's the whole point of Commissioner's Court, but it's usually just
I'm just asking.
something so off the wall.
I just asked.
And I know there's another one here that we did. Look on, I think it's the May 31st meeting, number 10, removing that rubble. And I know that we had given that, we're going to have to come back with that on the agenda. Because I don't know how we're going to do it, do you know what I'm saying?
I already put them on, already.
I don't know.
You mean number 9?
Number 10, well, on both of those, on number 9 and number 10, I'm going to have to come back with those with you to discuss those further. Just because of the bid prices are so, it seemed like it was much easier to get it out there than it is going to be to get it up. And then number 17 is there isn't any review and or corrections.
Make motion to accept minutes as presented. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Number 7 is to discuss, approve, disapprove amending the sheriff's office budget for training for civil process serving for deputies and constables. This course is required for police officers by state law. The cost of the class is $65 per for a total of $1170.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing great. Yeah, every cycle that we have to do for 40 hours, usually a 20-hour engineering verification is required for all these.
I'm sorry, Sheriff, they can't hear me.
Okay. Usually on
That's okay, that's as loud as we can talk.
Okay, well,
what I'm asking is on the 20-hour civil, it's 20 hours is required for each peace officer. Okay, the sheriff's office deals with a lot of civil process that we serve every day, you know, and there's a lot of rules and regulations that change all the time, and we just want to make sure that we're updated when it comes to serving paperwork, when it deals with civil process. It's from divorces, from evictions, you know, just different deals that we deal with all the time.
Will it be done here?
Yeah, it would have to be done here because it has to be all the staff, and we'll have to get somebody from San. This one is from San Antonio College. He'll come down and put the class in from 6 to 10.
Just one day?
No, it's 4 days.
4 days?
Yeah, but it's 20 hours. It's 6 to 10.
You don't have a line item, there's no line item on line you can move it from, we have to amend. You don't have a training? Okay.
And it has to be done by September for the cycle.
this is for the civil process,
Yeah,
sorry.
for all civil processes, they come down and just get the rules and regulations.
When do you have to schedule, or have you planned to have a scheduled
We
date?
have it in June, the last week of June.
Being that we can't change it from line item to line item, it has to be an emergency. Herb, would this be considered,
This will qualify.
it would qualify under an emergency?
Or unforeseen?
Unforeseen. Just making sure, because we can't move it from line item to line item.
Just when we approve it, if we approve the amendment, just capture unforeseen. Because when you're doing budget, you don't know, with the old going out and you coming in, you don't know who's going to be needing training and who's not going to be needing training, and if you don't have a training.
Being that it's, what you're saying is, it's unforeseen for the new sheriff to realize that this was going to be in.
Well, he probably didn't have a training budget.
Right.
Correct.
And Herb said we can
How
do
often
it,
do you have
so.
to take that course?
It's every cycle, like 4 years.
Every 4 years? Okay, so if you had a new hire and they haven't had it, they'll have to
Right
go
now,
for it.
all of them, because I checked their people's licenses and all the expenses.
Actually, you probably have to have every year, new people you hire, probably other training, that's where that goes. It's gonna cycle out.
Correct.
I make a motion, we approve number 7 as written and unforeseen as approved by Mr. Hancock.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff. Number 9 is to discuss disapprove the amendment of the county judge budget for the cost of moving and installing computers associated with the relocation from the offices for $750. Luana, you know what? I called Jeff and he brought me a bill, and the bill that he brought me is only $545.
The bill that was submitted to me for payment is $750.
It's the same thing that you go?
Because I was curious as to why AgriLife's was $170 and ours was $750, and it's the exact same number of computers and the exact same number of people and the exact same.
But the explanation Jeff gave me on that is AgriLife physically moved their own computers. He actually moved y'all's.
We moved them ourselves. We unplugged them and packed them and moved them over here.
That's the invoice I received.
And so, but the invoice that I have is for $545. And so I'll approve up to $545 because I didn't know what the $750 was. You want to see
Well,
it?
you're saying that the 170 is on one and 545 is on the other?
Yeah, I guess that theirs was $170. That
What do you want to say that Jeff mentioned because he moved the computers? And you're saying that we moved the computers as a
well,
county
no, I
moved the
carried
computers?
it. I carried it out of my office.
Wouldn't you just disregard 9 right now until we got a hold of him?
We did. I called him and had him bring this by, and he brought me by a bill for $545. So we can pay $545, but Luana said he brought her a bill for $750. But the bill he brought me is $545. I mean, Shelby and Pete were there. They helped us move. I mean, Shelby actually carried out my stuff. Carried out
I
my
would
computer and my
suggest
monitor.
not not doing anything on this particular item until I have a chance to compare the bills and see what the difference
You want to see?
I wouldn't like to pay anything on number
Then
9.
we'll take no action. And on number 10, do you want to go ahead and, I mean, because if the cost goes down by $600 to carry them, we carry them, or, you know.
Right. That's what I'm saying, you know.
So I think we need to, what about number 10, on discuss, approve, disapprove the amendment of AgriLife extension for the cost of moving, installing computers associated with the relocations from 210 to 115. He has that one down as 170. I guess that's the bill he gave you, the one on that one was 170.
That sounds better.
Well, I mean,
But yeah, y'all want to pay that or wait to discuss everything with you?
why don't we just do it all at once, and that way we can see, because
Yeah, I move we tabled everything till we get the,
just no action. Don't
no
take
action,
table.
well, no
No
action until we get proper bill. Or are you gonna work?
Okay, so let me, that's on number 10, right?
So now we're on number 11, it's discuss, approve, disapprove amendment of county judge's budget for the cost of additional telephone for the bailiff for $224. Tito does the, it says bailiff, but we didn't need it for the bailiff part, he needed it for the hot check part, the merchant collection, because he's leaving cards in people's doors when he goes out and he's trying to collect the money for the hot checks. So he got a phone.
That's proper.
Where is this phone actually?
In that office over there.
Yeah.
In the veterans
Alex's
service.
or-
Uh-huh.
So there's actually 2 phone sets in there.
He has a phone,
To collect hot check, to collect hot checks.
and if you want to amend the county judge's budget for that phone. It's not from one line item to another. We don't have enough on another line.
We don't have an extra.
Hot check fund?
I guess it could. I mean, we just need to collect the money for the merchants, and there's kind of a mess. And the Tito goes out at all hours and leaves notes in their door and has to leave them the name of
There's
the
not.
call.
I know, but is there money out of the hot check fund for something like for technology or something that we
Well,
could?
you would have to talk to Mr. Hancock.
Well, I'm asking you about a budget item,
We don't control the hot check funds.
but I'm
The
asking
county
you,
doesn't.
but the,
So there's not a budget because we don't control what the hot check funds can be expended on.
all right, her,
Yes,
does the hot check fund have any money for a phone?
I think we've got enough to pay that.
$224, Herb.
We paid for part of the computers, and our budget is way down because of that. I think we've got enough to pay for the initial cost.
For the $224 for Tito's phone?
It's
Yes.
just the actual phone, Mr. Hancock. It's not phone service. It's the actual handset.
I think we can pay that. I don't think we have the money to pay the under right now.
The $224 you do or you do not? I'm sorry.
Yes, we
Yes?
do.
Okay.
I'll prefer to pay that.
James, that's right.
We can
Yeah, I
get
don't know.
a hot check fund.
Yes.
That doesn't need Commissioner's Court approval, Herb can just do that. So you want to do that, Luana? So we'll take no action on number 11, and Herb, will you get Luana the money for that phone? Out of the hot
Can I
check?
get the bill, please?
She would have it. Yes, sir. That'd be number 12, discuss, approve, disapprove amendment of the EMS budget for the cost of 4 new pagers for $1,930.24. I guess EMS needs 4 new pagers.
Yes, they purchased them and there's not money in the budget. That's why it's a post amendment item.
He ordered 4 papers, you bought.
It has to get amended for that.
They've
They have to have
already
pagers.
purchased.
Right, and that is very public necessity. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's just kind of done backwards.
Herb, you said it is?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Hancock says it is.
I can read it.
All righty, thank you, sir.
Let me ask you, sir. I believe that, I thought that would be a great public necessity because if they don't have the pagers, they have to get paged out in their EMS.
That's my opinion. You know.
And that's the only opinion that matters when it comes to legal.
I understand that, but I mean, the citizens have good questions, they have good remarks, and I like, I listen to it.
I'm not, it's a grave public necessity. It's an emergency. We can make it fit in that category if the Commissioner's Court wants to approve it.
Because they need the page.
Yes, that's right.
I know some of the pages are very old. They do not catch all the tones sometimes. Some of them get damaged on calls. Some of them catch, like in the rain and stuff. But I know that Johnny was trying to get 4 pagers. I didn't know that he ordered them. But I knew he was talking about getting new equipment for. We could find some extra people. We have everything we need. But I'm abstaining from this because it's.
Oh, TMS, yeah, you're
I
right.
have an old pager. It's on fine. I'm about 5 years old.
So you're saying Johnny ordered them, but didn't let us know or anything, knew that there wasn't in the budget?
I don't know if he had communications equipment in the budget. I don't know.
He's already done a lot of purchasing, so he's over the line item that he had in there for radios and pagers.
I think we've had a lot go on, so EMS has been hard to judge.
And Shelby, these, he had the other pagers, they were good, or these are new ones that he needed?
These are the new ones that they need.
Okay, they do need,
These are in
aren't
addition to
replaced.
the current ones that we have.
Okay, because of new employees. Okay, so it's not, he's not replacing something that was already working or something. These employees do need these. I thought for a minute there, I thought
Eventually, yeah, next year there'll probably be some other communication equipment forthcoming, I'm sure. But these are items that are needed.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment of EMS budget, cost of 4 new pagers, and amount of $1,930.24
As a grave public necessity.
as a great public necessity.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries 3-0 with Shelby abstaining. Number 16 is discuss, approve, disapprove an order prohibiting certain fireworks in the unincorporated areas of Karnes County, Texas. I put that on there. We have to do that every year for July 4th. I don't think, Charlie usually calls me if he's concerned about the fireworks or whatever, and I think we've had plenty of rain. I think we're okay. Our KBDI index is not up at all. The Keachabine drought index, we're good.
Yeah, Charlie usually calls me every single.
I think we're okay there. So, I don't believe that we need a order. It's whatever you guys think. What do you think? I think we're fine.
I think we're fine. If we get closer, we can always make a special meeting for the changes.
If something happens.
Right. We can always make another.
I just I think we ought to me, the aerial fireworks need to go. I don't believe in aerial fireworks. Especially, I don't care what time of the year it is. There's always just a lot of, even though we've had some rain, it's getting green, things drying up, the aerial fireworks will pose a problem.
So are you wanting to do the ban on the missiles with fins? There's a certain,
All the rockets, the bottle rockets, whatever.
it's rockets and missiles with fins is the wording. So you want to,
You can look at your Annex U legal, I think will give you some more guidance.
the statute says rockets and missiles with fins. And that's that order right here. And I can just print it up and sign it if y'all want. Do you want to ban rockets and missiles with fins, or do y'all want to leave everything alone?
Rockets and missiles.
And I don't know how that covers the cities that provide like Runge or Kenny may have a 4th of July fireworks display, but they'll have their fire people there and stuff like that. I guess that's a different, that kind of exempts them, does it? So I agree with the rockets and things.
That's the certain fireworks right there.
That wouldn't include, I don't know what you call them, but those big old cannons that shoot us.
If they shoot fire, live fire, no, rockets and missiles with fin. Roman candles are not included in those. Yeah, it's just it's stuff that has fire that flies. And that's the only thing in the statute we can't. That's the only thing in the statute we can prohibit when you say certain fireworks. And that's just rockets and missiles with fins. That way if somebody sees the fireworks stand open, they don't say, oh, they're open, and they're not, they can be open, and they can sell small stuff and the pyrotechnic display type stuff.
That's fine. We don't waste a fire.
Okay, so we're going to approve a ban on certain fireworks, and that's going to be the rockets and missiles within. Lisa, I'll get you the order in a second, because I didn't print it, because I didn't.
So make a motion, second.
I'll make a motion to prohibit certain fireworks, such as rockets and missiles and pins,
Which,
in the unincorporated areas of Karnes County, and authorize Judge Shaw to sign.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries 4-0. Number 18 on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove, authorizing the auditor's office to advertise for employee benefits package for the fiscal year 2014. We had asked Luana in the last meeting about going out, we had talked about budgets, about going out for bids. So we need to approve allowing Luana to advertise for the employee benefits package.
I know the last time that we were here last year, we were talking with Jess here, correct me if I'm wrong. We had told his group, his company, him, that he could do a market analysis for us, and then he'd come back and present that to us, and then we'd look at it, and then we'd go out after that for proposals if we weren't satisfied with what his company brought us.
Well, on April 30th, we had discussed during court whether to go out for proposals for next year's employee benefit packages, and it was decided at that time, no action was taken, but the decision was that Jess would just market it for us. But then there has been a lot of conversation among constituents and questions raised as to why the court is not going out for proposals that thought maybe we could receive better offers.
We usually go out every year.
Plus, we have a three-year worth of
History.
But he deals with all of them anyways. His company deals with all of them anyways. I was just saying it's, something we had mentioned to him to give, not, because he has been doing it already for 3 years for us, straight,
No, it has been 3 years straight.
with Humana.
Humana has been very
3
good.
years, yes.
They've been over the years.
So additional expenses, newspaper advertising, is that correct?
And mailing out bid packets or proposal packets and so on.
So now that we have that 3-year, I think somebody had asked about going with TAC, we'd asked them at one time.
Well, Just contacts TAC also.
Right.
And, yeah, but they wanted a 3-year of somebody.
Commitment with us.
No.
3-year history.
3-year
For us,
history,
that we
yes.
committed with someone for 3 years, that's the way they'll come back.
And now we have a 3-year history. And so,
Like I said, Jess does all that anyways. He's the one that
He
markets
also
for us.
contacts TAC,
Right,
yes, or he has in the past. It could be made specific to him that he includes TAC in his marketing.
Exactly.
So you feel that to satisfy the voters out there that are asking questions? we
I've
need
just
to go out
heard
for bids?
rumblings that they wonder why we're just exclusively allowing just to do it. Little just you.
I think it looks odd to people when we usually do something and we stop doing it. We just stop, it looks like we're monopolizing something, or it doesn't look, do you know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is.
I understand that. With that, I'll make a motion to authorize auditor's office to advertise employee benefit package 2014.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have to oppose just because of the reason that we had told him to do the market analysis first.
Motion carries 3-1. Thank you, James. Number 19 is the tax collector's report. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning. I just wanted you to know I have to be still. Who is this? I didn't know who it was. Okay.
A report for the month of May for the county. Current month, $69,019.29. Year-to-date collected for the county, $7,830,778.71, with a collection rate of 96.57%. Delinquent taxes collected for the county for the month of May, $10,831.83. Year-to-date, $71,907.16, with a delinquent collection rate of 33.5672%. Road and Bridge collections for the month of May, $16,402.04. Year-to-date, $1,876,393.90 for a collection rate of 96.59%. The delinquent roll for the Road and Bridge for the month of May, $1,148.19 for a total year-to-date $7,843.92, collection rate of 39%. Rural Fire, month of May, collections $8,701.54. Year-to-date, $979,541.71 for a collection rate of 96.558%. The delinquent taxes collected for rural fire for the month of May, $652.96. Year-to-date, $4,508.22 for a collection rate of 43.9253%.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Luana, your bills? All this. Oh, this is, that's done, okay.
With the action of the court earlier, the second and third items on page 1 for the relocation expenses to Texas CompuFix will be removed from the payment cycle, as well as the item on page 4 under the Ag Extension Office for $340. Then if you'll move to page 6 on road and bridge expenses, sixth item from the bottom, $47,275 payable to Liska Construction Company. That's for bridge repairs on County Road 277. And then the final entry under road and bridge, also to Liska Construction Company, $15,357 is the initial payment for the debris cleanup out of the river. But of course, that does not include any cost for hauling off and disposing. There will have to be, that bill came in late and Nancy called about it, so that's why I put it in the cycle. We will have to actually amend, but I thought we would amend it all one time. 15,000.
Okay.
So then once we have the actual cost on the disposal of the materials, we'll just do one large amendment at one time.
On County Road 277, which bridge is that?
To that bridge caved in, they put 3 pipes in it.
Okay.
They did the concrete ends and stuff like that. Just for information, the $15,357 from Liska, that was the amount that he had estimated. We approved $35,000 and some dollars on it. So it only cost $15,357 to clean that from under the bridge, where the estimate was $35 and people screamed about. But he wants to cover everything.
Now, it is still all piled up out there, and it does have to be.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, is that pile that's at the end of the end-up piles?
It was, I think it was dumped way on the end, the last stuff that he took out from underneath there. I'm not sure. You remember, Shelby?
It was just on the end from where those cones were that, that he piled up. It was like 15, 20 loads, something like that.
I've been out and looked at it, and there's a pile that's obviously different from the truck loads that were dumped there. And I assumed that was the material that came out.
There was some red cones out there. I had him put a red cone out from where you started dumping to where you stopped, so we would know the amount that he pulled out.
Okay.
So the adjusted total for this bill cycle is $168,295.87.
There is in amount of road and bridge there for $4,487. He had been getting a lot of water free from some of the oil companies, but he had places he had to buy it. So we're seeing a water cost on there every month.
Today's the,
I had a question on the jail. We have a problem, we have a $398 water bill, the Sheriff's Department. We have a big problem on jail this month.
That is a combination of buildings. If you'll notice on the description, it says Maywater Bill's county buildings.
Oh,
We get one invoice from the
Okay,
city.
Sheriff, but we'll have water bill someplace else, that's why.
Yes, there'd be another water bill under Department 510, previous page,
Okay,
which is 8874 for other buildings.
so thanks. Thought it was an option, Chief.
They use a lot.
what happened to our ag tractor one? $1,334 is there.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but there is a itemized bill of things.
It is included in the.
Pete, actually, the water bills for the sheriff's office was $398.
She said that's all.
As well as the 298 or 288 on page 2.
Yeah.
The total water bill is 600 and whatever. The 398 is allocable to the sheriff's department.
I'm going to pay the bills, but I'm gonna accept the EMS. Both can pay that one. I mean, I'll pay that one. I can't pay that because it has whatever it is.
Or you are abstaining
I'm abstaining
from your portion.
from the portion of the EMS bills.
All right, I second the motion to pay bills.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. The next one is reports of fees, fines, and money collected by the following departments and county clerk. Do you have that one, Lisa?
I put it on your desk.
The total for the month is $65,374.86. And then we have the district clerk, Denise.
Good morning. I don't have the,
Huh?
I have my report, but I don't have the cover.
Mouse.
This is my civil. You were welcome. I think I gave mine. I have yours.
There's still more.
Yes, I know, I just copied them. Wait, is this, yeah, okay, on page 6 of the criminal, it's the small one, that gives you the breakdown that I collected, and it's a breakdown, I just did not get the detail, right here. There, the 10, and that's my.
So your total was 10,538 for criminal? Okay, and then your civil is? Page 16 of this? Yes, page 16.
Yes.
So
Okay,
yours,
so it's the 1396.26.
For your
and
criminal?
there's my breakdown. Yes.
okay. Civil, excuse me.
Civil, sorry. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Denise. Okay. County attorney, Ms. Crabtree has, she has collected through 5/31/13, she's collected $19,913.99 compared to year-to-date of 6,706.88. So we're at $3,000.
How much is outstanding?
Thank you, Tito. How much
You
is
have a number?
outstanding?
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, that whole hot check thing is, we got cases back from 1991, 1992, 93, 94. I mean, stuff has just been sitting on docket since I can't tell you when, and Herb has been going through docket with Lisa. They've been trying to figure this out. We have so many people that have either passed away or the merchants have closed, and we're talking cases that have just been sitting there for no reason. They're just sitting there. And so I think we've recently dismissed cases over 20 years old, 18 years old. We've probably dismissed about, what, 200 of them, Herb? Don't know, I mean, they've just been sitting there. Nobody's ever done anything with them. They've sit there since the early 90s, just sit there. That's all they've been doing is taking up docket space. Nobody's ever touched them until Herb's come along. They just sit there. So how much is outstanding? We couldn't tell you. There's people that we're putting warrants out for their arrest, or we have done stuff, which is why the hot check thing is in such a mess. They've paid off their bills a long time ago, and they're repeatedly put on docket. And so that's one of the things you're not seeing the hot check thing going, is because Herb is having to physically sit down and go through case by case with Lisa to determine whether or not these people are living, whether or not they've paid. There was no records kept in the county attorney's office, and it's made our job really, really difficult. So we don't know what's outstanding.
Okay.
So that's how that
That's
goes.
what I asked.
You hand that to Lisa? So thank God for Herb. Now we're going to go to, that was Herb's piece. Justice of the Pieces, we're going to go to that. And Lupita just handed me those, and I'm going to start with Daisy's. It's on top. And she usually highlights that, so I'm hoping I can figure it out. Let's see. And she did. Thank you, Daisy. She has kept by the county $31,051.78. She has remitted to the state $12,294.92. And she has a total of $43,346.70. That's Daisy. It's just Daisy. And that was May. Oh, well, here, she gave y'all all one, and I was reading it to you. Did she give you one? Or do you need one, Lisa? Hand that to Lisa, please. Okay, and then the other one was for Tracy, who's not here, and that's mine. And now we have precinct 2. That's going to be Caroline. She has kept by the county $13,638.91, remitted to the state $8,673.74, and a total $22,312.65. And she left y'all all one of those too. I thought it was each JP. There you go. And those are the only 2 JP ones that I have. And then I have the juvenile department. There have been no collections. You can look at the caseload on here. Always remember, I'm dealing with children here. That makes it a different situation. A lot of times they don't have that ability to be able to pay, or they don't have the parents don't have the means. We have a lot of court-appointed stuff on that, and just remember they're children. And special projects. the zoning, just let them know we don't have it. Okay, I'm thinking about it though.
All right, we collected, under development permits, $2,400 for the month, and septic permits, $8,300 for the month. We had 22 new address requests, 42 completed, and 13 not.
That's everybody on reports. Anybody else have a report that I missed you? No.
Can we go back to bills just 1 second? I want to modify the actual total payment, $167,955.87.
Okay.
What is it again?
$167,955.87. And I need to make that change.
Thank you, Luana. No, the motion will capture the new, is that correct? There we go. Thanks, Luana. Ronnie, if you have anything you'd like to say?
Obviously, I don't have a written report because I've only been here a week, but I'd like to report to the court some things with the advice of the court. I've gone out and met with TxDOT. They've assured us that we're not going to have an interruption in the flow of materials of the wrap. We've got one stockpile we're working out of and then another stockpile coming on board, and they're going to walk me through the process to make sure that we do the proper paperwork and documentation to keep that material flowing. While I was meeting with them, I went over their current job description and personnel issues that I really think would be a benefit to the county for us to implement. So one of my top priorities is to prepare and have for the court a step and grade where our employees will know where they are. Have a written job description for the employees, and as we move forward with those type things, obviously we'll get them on the agenda and get the court's approval. And with Shelby's assistance, because he's involved with personnel policies, I would like to see these incorporated into our personnel policy documents. Any questions of what's transpired the last 4 days? Thank you.
Our prayers are with you, Ron.
Okay.
Your next show.
I had nothing to report for policies and procedures other than, do we have a PA system anywhere around here that we can use for in this building? Because I know it's not, I should probably be asking this, but people have a hard time hearing, and maybe we need to do something.
I think we were checking on that, right, Norman? To see if we had anything within the budget and the line item that we could use that.
Right.
Other than a bullhorn sitting there talking.
Casey,
No.
you could go on it for us.
We do have some line items that we could use out of capital improvement. Do you not plan on bringing that podium over here from 115 North Market? That would elevate y'all and help project the voices.
It has that on there too, right? It has the PA system on the system.
No, that system shot. It shorted out a long time ago. Before we even left the other building, we weren't using it. It started making all kinds of popping and groveling noises, and then when you turn it on, nothing would happen. And,
But even if y'all were elevated somewhat as well as a PA system, I think it would help project y'all's voices.
the only problem is we need a place for all these, like Lorraine's meeting and all these people are meeting. They're all meeting in here.
Oh, but that table could be moved back here and that area put up
And
here.
just take up the space. It's just going to get it too cramped.
And you start a question,
That's
that's
okay.
probably his sound system.
No,
Also-
we do.
We do.
We had checked on that, but I don't know what they cost. Maybe
I have no idea.
$1,500, $2,000.
I have no
A
idea.
good one. Somebody said.
No. She
I
said
asked,
save
is
it and
this
take
a
it for next
permanent
year.
room? Is this where you're going to be from now on? This is it? With the maximum capacity of 30? Because we get some pretty crowded meetings sometimes.
You know what, that sign probably needs to be checked because I think it was Shelby and I were actually in a room in San Antonio that was smaller than this one and it said maximum occupancy 100. So,
I believe the code is here. I may be wrong. I don't want to shoot off here. It's five square feet per person.
I don't know, but I don't,
Some-
let's get back to where we need to be. I mean, if we need a PA system or something, if that's something Faith wants to look into, not Faith, Michelle.
Somebody else can do that.
Okay, if that's something y'all want to go look and find.
We gotta
and see.
put it on the agenda, go ahead and give someone,
Well, you can go look, you can go on the internet and look.
let you come back and report it and present it.
Just let me know when, okay? All right, Pete, you,
Annex. I have Swartz building rails for the courtroom down there, her requested. It'll be a metal, it'll be bolted on the bottom with a wood cap on it. The air conditioning, the dehumidifying unit has been installed in the server room there. They didn't leave any instructions with it. It's working, it's pumping the moisture out. I just took Lisa in there, they told her to watch every morning. If there's any water on the floor, let us know. It's not working right, the water's running over. That should be the only thing we need to watch on with functioning. I also have Swartz figuring a price on the outside rails. I want a price on it first before to do it. We have money in the budget for it, so we'll see if we can get it. And I'm meeting a man at 11 o'clock to go over his plans for the concrete parking lot out here, so we can get it bid.
The rails are gonna be made out of what kind of metal?
It's a 1-inch pipe with an angle out on the bottom, bolt, and that wood frame down there. 1-inch pipe, and has a 3/4-inch rail on top, and the wood will be cut in and set on top of it.
Outside.
Screwed in. In other words, it'll go around like that, about 27 inches high, like the pipe is 29 inches.
That's on the outside perimeter of the steps here?
No, that's in the courtroom.
That's in the courtroom.
In the courtroom.
Jen mentioned.
The one for the outside step, the ramp on that west end.
Yes, sir.
I'm having him figure that, be made of pipe, 1.5-inch pipe, I think. With, and it'll all be galvanized before it's put in. Give me a price on making the pipe, we'll have to put some drill holes and obviously.
Okay, so once they get under, they'll be maintenance free, we don't have to do it.
Yeah, like that. Okay.
you next.
I haven't had any picture before.
Tracy's not here, the next item on the agenda is to adjourn.
I'll make it.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carries.